Hello, hello. Happy Monday from A Few Dice Short. Oops, I had it on the wrong game. There we are. Or whatever day it is that you're actually watching this. In case you're watching the YouTubers. Yeah, I hope you guys all had a great weekend. What did we get into this weekend? What did we get into? We had a little bit of a cookout. My mother-in-law's birthday. It was like a couple weeks ago, but she was sick, and so we just finally got to celebrating it. So we did that. Finally watched what's it called? Everything Everywhere All at Once. Good watch. And yeah, played a lot of Helldivers. This guy with the hat scares me, so we're gonna skip him. We're gonna rest. He scares me. Wait, tutorial? You've received your first trait. Some choices in game will push Julia towards different ways of thinking. Yeah, okay. So we did that last week. We were selfish, I think is basically what it said. Which will have a lasting effect on her throughout the story. You will see a brief pop-up on the top of the screen anytime you receive a new trait. You can always view any unlocked traits on the log screen, accessed through the top icon. Remember that ruthlessness is the mark of a true Lasombra. Alright, so we gotta be ruthless. I feel like we did our Brujah very good. We did the Anarch ending, and we did all the Anarch quest missions. So now it's time to be Lasombra. Right now, I think the plan is to do this for roughly an hour like I did last week. But I will actually stream Helldivers after this. I'm going to exit the stream. Just, it's easier for YouTube to clip all this and make it a video. And then I will restart the stream, so at about 7. Beware of that. A little after 7, probably. Ruthlessness, but you might walk another path before reaching that destination. We'll be ruthless. Dakota. Always told you you'd make it big. Get real, these assholes are just using me as a pawn in some stupid 4th dimensional chess game. As opposed to just keeping you off the chessboard. Don't be a glass half empty buzzkill. Watch them make me a scapegoat or something. That would be exciting. I could write a book about living with the 21st century Lee Harvey Oswald. Come on, don't even joke like that. I haven't killed anyone. Julia, honey, neither did Oswald. Yeah, right, I keep forgetting. I gotta review my history. Stop wriggling or I'll mess your face up. Sorry. I'm always obedient when she's busy working on my makeup. It's hard to take care of your appearance, especially your face, when you can't even see yourself in the mirror. Not that I've ever been particularly good at it, but Dakota doesn't seem to mind. I'm her goth dress-up doll. Her presence in my own life is one of the few good things that my sire provided for me before fucking off to Chicago. Dictionary update. Ghoul. Yeah, okay. Normally I'd be told to find myself a ghoul, but many of our clan, myself included, finds the idea of ghouls distasteful. You know what that is from Bloodlines. What you get when you give a mortal your vampire blood without draining theirs first. An underling, a toady, a thrall. My clan don't really like to use them. Hell, Karen thought the very concept was beneath her and refused to explain it. Alright. I feel like ghouls would be useful, but yeah, sure, Lasombra, they don't like it. We're cat people, not dog people. We don't want mindlessly faithful servants. We want companions who rely on us despite having, in theory anyway, the free will not to. The kind of relationship I have with Dakota would normally be a breach of the Masquerade's rules, but the rules are different for kindred who are Camarilla adjacent, even losers like me. simplifying here, but my sire made it clear that her child would not own slaves, and that was the end of the discussion. To be honest, I think the court mostly agreed to that request because they wanted one more thing to blackmail me with, just in case. What would you do in my place? If I had to investigate your elite's wrongdoings, yep, I'd probably look for those rich fucks pedophile rings. Look for the assholes who mention pizza suspiciously often. See who has powerful friends in Manhattan jails, stuff like that. Oh, come on. No, I'm serious. Search for the deep rot, and a lot of smaller crimes will get solved in the process. What is it with you and conspiracy theories? What do you mean? You just told me your bosses are having eyes wide shut parties, and suddenly you don't believe in rich people's pedophile rings? I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. My point is, you act as if all the conspiracy theories are real. Like, you can't possibly believe all that shit. Half of it doesn't even make sense. Well, you want an interesting answer or a real answer? The real answer should be the more interesting one. She removes her brush from my face to gather her thoughts. Everyone's lost nowadays. Just look at the world. It's drowning in facts that fail to cohere into a single convincing narrative or a story that resonates. The corporate media wants you to believe in empirical thinking, but it always fails to deliver moral or metaphysical truths, and the people desperately lack those. So what do? They turn to conspiracists, and suddenly they are able to navigate the world. And why is that? Because conspiracy theories give them emotional truths that serve as a compass. Is Bill Gates trying to insert satanic microchips into my body? Probably not. I hope not. Now, is he a terrible person? No idea. But there's ample evidence that might be the case. It's in his ruthless business strategies, the company he used to keep, the philosophies he follows. People look at him, and they feel he's fishy. So the media present him as a genius or a savior, and I post that he wants to put the mark of the beast in my body. They choose to believe me. Because it makes moral, emotional, and metaphysical sense to them. And ultimately, that's what matters most. The end. I don't buy it. Like, at all. But since it's you saying it, I'll just say it's cute. Good enough for me. You came up with this monologue yourself? Oh no, I read it on Facebook. Figures. But just to make sure, vaccines are okay? Well, as far as I know, they don't cause autism. Good to hear. Anywho, I'm done. You're the best. Yeah, considering how many times I've done makeup on a dead body, I probably have enough job experience to be a mortician by now. Now that sounds like an exciting career, but in reality, it is probably the most boring thing under the sun. Yeah, like my corpse is talkative, pouty, and self-loathing. Shut up. This carcass will be leaving now. It's got a job to do. Go get him, Tiger. Okay, I do need to check one thing really quick. Alright. Okay. First thing I need to do, meet up with Kadir tonight and report to him. I hope he knows how to guide me out of this mess. He should have time for me in an hour or two. In the meantime, I suppose it's time to find some... What's the most dehumanizing word I could use here? Nourishment? Kadir told me I need to quench my hunger less often if I didn't smoke. It kills you, he said, but to start killing itself, your organism must pretend it's alive, and that uses up precious vitae. Thank you. What is that? an ancient term for blood, in my experience, rarely found outside of dusty textbooks and pompous cameraless speeches. But I love cigarettes, the way they smell, the way they burn, the hot ash falling from the top, the sound of the lighter. The way they kill you, of course, and I guess I need some tactile connection to who I was back when I was alive. Okay, New York City. Guide my steps. Show me which one of your children I should drink up tonight. We have fellow goth girl. We have nerdy professor-looking guy with a bow tie. And we have kind of creepy, weird-looking dude who looks like he pooed himself. The note left in my old dead drop point reads, Bunny as a reporter, shit, could it be Woods? Long time no see, what does one do when the ghost of Christmas past knocks on her door? Samira is asking me to meet her. If not for the ongoing celebrations, the patrician would prove an odd choice for a secret rendezvous. You're just hoping she can provide some use. Okay. I feel like Samira's trying to help, maybe a little. Diva's Light, a fitting name for a kiss addict, audacious enough to openly pitch her unique taste to those in the know. I'm not in a clubbing mood, but since I need to feed, might as well give that rumor a shot. We'll do this middle one first. Slap on the wrist. A clean-cut staff member, dressed in an impeccable company uniform, smiles me at the elevator as the elevator door opens. Good evening, ma'am. Meeting someone? I dismiss his question with an apathetic shrug. He sizes me up for a brief moment, visibly questioning my fashion sense. However, his professional acumen quickly trumps his discontent. Very well, this way, please. New York City is nouveau. Riche, I don't know. Seem awfully hungry. Rich. For a gourmet soup this late at night, the patrician is packed almost to the brim. The concierge points me over to the last vacant table, conveniently situated in the far-off corner of the main hall. I nestle in the chair, letting my elbows rest on the ornate tablecloth. Watch out! Oblivious white collars, there's a black widow in your midst. While I'm here, might as well just kick back and die of boredom. This looks like a nice little whiskey place. I would go here. Yeah. I really need something to occupy my mind. Call the concierge, figure out why Samir asked you to come, have a smoke and examine the place. Ooh. He was being very helpful at first. Ruthless. Alright. Straight to the point. That's La Sombra. As I'm waiting, I rack my brain for any idea why the Banu Hakim Primogen wanted me here tonight, instead of out there working my case. The obvious possibility, and the one I'm counting on, is that she has some sort of lead she wasn't comfortable sharing at Elysium. I'm almost certain that's a false hope, though this whole investigation still feels like a joke being told at my expense. When I'm trying to figure out how I feel about this, somebody finally takes notice of me. The concierge quickly closes in on me, dancing habitually between the tables, and addresses me before I can even utter a single word. Excuse me, ma'am. Are you Miss Savinsky by chance? As soon as I nod, he hands me a carefully folded memo and leaves. The note reads, "The manager of this establishment insulted the Camarillah's authority with his negligence. Even though it's minor, his transgression must be penalized. I would like you to assist me in this matter. Such a display of goodwill on your part would surely improve your standing with the higher-ups. Choose an appropriate, non-lethal punishment. S." God damn it, Samira. Well, this is disappointing. It was a high order to expect any help with the investigation, I guess. Instead, just another chore. The best I can hope for is that this really is just a friendly request, not a deliberate attempt to derail my work this early in the game. Damn it. Might as well get it done since I'm already here, so I can move on with more pressing stuff. I swiftly approach the manager and tap him on the shoulder. He furrows his brow as soon as he notices me. I'm afraid I'm busy. One of the waiting staff should be able to. We have something to discuss. The VIP lounge. Now, if you please. His face loses color. Maybe it has dawned on him that I'm even paler than the other, more blue-blooded guests. He immediately becomes compliant as I escort him through a side door. The room is empty, but its guests are just leaving. Nobody pays me any attention. The manager is as polite as she can be as he sees the patrons out, but I can see he's clearly losing his shit. I quietly ask one of his staff to give him 5 minutes in the lounge, and gingerly close the door behind him. Then the pleading starts. Listen, I know I screwed up. I shouldn't have let him in. How could I know he's not one of the proper clients? I don't give a... Listen, hey. I would never... I implore you. I have children, for Christ's sake. There must be something, an arrangement, a way to... He just goes on as if I'm not even here. With each subsequent whimper, he becomes more and more irritating. I don't want to be too ruthless. We'll explain. Just shut up for a goddamn second. My outburst finally makes him hold his tongue. I light up the last cig in the package and take a slow puff, trying to compose myself. I have no use for your explanations and justifications. I don't know what sort of transgression you've committed. I should have never let this... Huh? Sensarik guy in. And truth be told, I don't give a shit. It will never happen again. I swear on my mother's grave, just... I'm not that good of a judge of character, but him pleading with his arms out really makes him look like the biblical wayward son, swearing to change his ways. Alright, now we be ruthless. I grab his hand at a tight grip, palm up, and take a puff to rekindle the burning tip of my cigarette. He doesn't fight back. You and I both know they will want proof that I gave you a lesson you won't forget. So I hope you realize that this is mercy. I put my smoke out in the palm of his hand to the accompaniment of his muffled screams. His eyes become watery, but other than that, he takes it like a champ. If I have to come back to this shithole, the next one will go right here. I look him in the eye and crassly flick his eyelid before taking off. I didn't know I was capable of this sort of cruelty, but here we are. Karen warned me that something in our bloodline finds sniveling weaklings detestable. Is that what triggered me? But that's a conundrum for another occasion. I did what I was asked, and I've sure as hell wasted enough time here. I should move on. Feed. We'll do this one first, and then we'll go to the... Wait. Hey, he just has a weird expression on his face. We'll go here first. Fellow goth girl. Well, I'm getting my head bop on. Scruffy! I read this sentence. Julia's hating on it. How you doing, Scruff? No blood, no matter how exquisite, is worth suffering through this noise. Something terrible must have happened to the previous DJ. It had to be sudden and unexpected for them to hire this amateur under the wire. Zero ability to read the crowd. No sense of flow. As if that constant flashing wasn't migraine-inducing enough by itself. That's how I feel in my 30s now. Not that I remember how an ordinary headache feels. I know the hunger though, which is why I'm here tonight. A purple-haired girl bumps into me. Head down, tears flowing down her cheeks, hands trembling. As much as I understand it, I don't think it's the guy at the turntables that made her like this. Oof. Oh, I'm sorry, so sorry, She bolts before I can say a single word. Well, who am I to blame her? A tactical retreat probably felt like a good idea. I don't know why I gave her the voice of an 80-year-old woman, but that's her voice now. With a trace of cheap booze in every potential vessel. What is vessel? Oh, yeah, where you get your blood, of course. Of course, I should have known that one. Is faint but ever present. At this point, the smell is all I'm getting. Come to think of it, I can barely remember how alcohol tastes. Maybe I should remind myself. Nah, that's dumb. But the bar is pretty much free of people at the moment. I get closer to take a peek at the drinks menu. These are some goofy fucking names, especially from a kindred's perspective. Order the Bloody Margaret. I'm assuming something like a Bloody Mary. I have no idea what a Vampiro would be. I'm not gonna say the Bloody Margaret. That's more of a brunch drink. That's not a out late at night drink. So we will take our chances with the Vampiro. After a short while, the crackling of ice cubes announces the arrival of the sparkling blend. The tall glass, garnished with an orange slice and chili pepper, contains enough fruit and juice to successfully mask the smell of tequila. Mazel tov. I chug it down in one go. It tastes like an awful mix of all kinds of Nesbitt soda, topped with a hint of fermented cactus pulp. Something tells me I'm gonna regret it soon. The music abruptly stops just as I step away from the bar. I can't see the booth, but the crowd's reaction tells me all I need to know. Looks like we have a new DJ. The vibe immediately improves. Hallelujah. Oh yeah. There's much better DJ. Much better DJ. But pleasant moments never last. Some well-worn dude on the wrong side of 40 decides to hit me up. Our eyes meet for a brief moment, slightly too late for me to outmaneuver him. Strangely, there's no lust in his gaze, and yet he seems like a predator closing in on his prey. Shit. Could he be the rumored Diva's Delight? A kiss addict clocking me as a bloodsucker? How come you're here all alone, sweetheart? I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but there's something irksome in the way he carries himself. As he approaches me, I begin to feel fatigued, like there was a sudden drop in atmospheric pressure. He's an energy vampire, like what we do in the shadows. I feel like glaring at him is not going to do anything. We got to tell him to piss off. We don't want him sucking all our energy out. My unsure voice thwarts any attempts at sounding imposing. Can you bother someone else? I'm not in the fucking mood. He seems unfazed by my words, just tilts his head a little, like a hound dog catching a scent. I feel spiders crawling up my spine. Is there something wrong? Here, let me. Hands off, asshole. Ooh, potence or dominate. Potence is what I maxed with my Bruja, isn't it? So let's try something different. Dominate. I can barely focus on his eyes, but he freezes in place for a moment. Hey Stallion, how about you go bother that guy? He struggles with my chaotic command and gives me an unsettling look, but in the end, he seems to do what I wanted him to. Oof. He approaches some meathead, who immediately turns hostile. The meathead's first punch breaks the guy's nose. I don't wait to see the second one. As if meeting the asshole didn't strain me enough, an acrid feeling arises in my gut, instantly making me nauseous. I barely make it to the nearest empty lounge before I begin violently throwing up. For a minute straight, I spray the couch with the remains of that wretched cocktail. Oh, it's not a pleasant sight. I get a hold of myself as soon as my stomach empties. Shit, Julia. Your life has had more than its fair share of avoidable embarrassments. Is it necessary for your unlife to follow suit? Time to bail and not look back. Right before I reach the exit, the purple-haired girl from earlier bumps into me once again. This time, I know it's not coincidental. Wait, please. She seems startled, but gives me a pleading look. I saw what you did to that man. Are you one of them? What are you talking about? Who's them? She bares her teeth and taps the side of her neck. Oh, I get it. So you're the Diva's Delight. She blushes innocently, like I just caught her stealing cookies. Yes? Sorry, that was an 80-year-old granny voice. Yes? It sounds silly, I know, but I thought it would attract some of, some of your kind. I've always been told I taste good. Would you like to try? She looks at me the same way a junkie who hasn't had his hit for a while looks at a syringe. You know too much. There's no way you don't have a patron of some sort. Her eyes tear up again. I do, but maybe I don't. I don't know anymore. He shows up whenever he wants, then disappears for weeks. I don't even know his name. We were supposed to meet here tonight, but I guess he didn't show up. The girl who keeps talking Now that she has found something new to open up to, any instinct she might have had to remain secretive is gone. Makes you wonder who thought it was a good idea to breach the masquerade for her. Before him, I used to have a caregiver. She was one of the divas too, but she was exceptional, noble. I think she cared about me, in a way. She always complimented the way I tasted. Would you like a try? She clings to my arm like I'm Jesus Christ and Kurt Cobain at the same time. Descended from heaven exclusively to turn her misery to bliss. I can't help but feel some disdain. Please, I promise you won't be disappointed. I know I won't be. I'm too hungry for that. But I also like to pretend I'm something better than hungry from time to time. Why not? The hunger gets the better of me, but somehow I don't mind. This is what she wants, isn't it? A quick look around, nobody's paying attention, why would they? We're just two random girls who seem to be into each other. I gently grab the back of her head and put my lips closer to her neck. She visibly trembles with excitement. As I bite down, her body softens. Then I drink, savoring each sip. She really tastes incredible, like an unfulfilled promise, sweet, sweet innocence. As soon as I'm done, she loses her footing, weakened, but undoubtedly relieved. I help her sit down on the floor. She smiles at me, joy glinting in her eye. Thank you, I really needed that. My name's... Don't talk, just rest for a while. I leave her alone in a state of bliss. She doesn't seem to mind. It looks like I did the right thing. Right? I leave the booming sounds of the club behind me and get on with my night. Alright, it's about time I head to see Kadir. Mighty kind of him to arrange a meeting in the place that's most convenient for me. D'Angelo, Hope, Tamika, Agathon. I suppose that's better than nothing, but no evidence, really. Honestly, it felt as if someone had already cleaned up the most egregious stuff before I arrived. Sounds like the Anarchs. I'll definitely try and check that place again, but I feel I need some sort of expert to accompany me. An advanced investigator who would show me the ropes. Someone tall and handsome, maybe. Yeah, you don't mind a diplomatic incident. I'll go with you. Any better ideas? Actually, this very note gave me one. But I will need to set it up first. I will get back to you about that. You know these people? I've had passing contact with each of them. Part and parcel of the job, you know? I suppose. Can you help me out with this? The way I'd tackle it would be, look at one person on the list every night. Ask around about them, and see what they know if you do manage to meet them. If I manage to meet them. They're not particularly easy to get a hold of. Always prefer to be a little off the grid, but nowadays they're all practically in hiding, if not MIA or dead. Funny coincidence. It is not my job to speculate. In other words, he knows something, but is not at liberty to say. Guess I'll find out anyway, if I do meet them. And why one night each? Shouldn't I investigate every loose thread until we're satisfied? In a perfect world, you'd have all the time you needed. But this is not a perfect world. They'll try to brute force a solution to the case as soon as possible. I suspect that 4 nights from now, once the celebrations of power are over, they'll ask for your findings and that will be all. Fucked up. To be brutal honest, my focus wouldn't be on solving the murder. Instead, I'd focus on not embarrassing yourself. Fucked up. This is part of why I didn't want you to get involved. You could possibly think Arturo had you involved out of the goodness of his heart. The entirety of your investigation is just for show. You were meant to be an unwitting actor. Maybe I really should just call Mia and be like, you know, what? Fuck these condescending Ivory Town clowns. I want to work with you. But then again, if I was with the Anarchs, they'd probably delegate even shittier tasks to me. If, and that's a really big if, they didn't think I was some kind of inside agent in the first place. Better stick to Camarilla, but if they're hell-bent on stabbing me in the back at every opportunity, maybe it's time to think about how I can repay the favor. Play dirty no matter what Kadir thinks of it. After all, from where I'm standing now, there's no other way but up. A penny for your thoughts? I take a drag from my cigarette. What option? What option? What option? Kind of pissed off. Yeah, we could do that. When you're sent on this investigation for nothing. Thoughts, schmots. I'm angry. What do you expect? Something different from the norm, I suppose. My anger levels are above the norm, I suppose. It's a nasty situation, but not one without a possible good ending in sight. So I hope you can channel that anger into something productive. I could try. Where should I go first? You should go with me. As it happens, I'm only out here because I was ordered to drive Aisling to the art hole. And guess the name of her protege. Oh, so that's who Agathana is. Or was. Nobody knows. It's a complicated thing, you'll see. I'm on the clock, so let's get a move on. Vin Diesel rides again. Still not done with the spit? Not while it's still bothering you. I'm leaving you behind if you don't keep up. As I already told Kadir, and numerous times at that, I have no idea what happened with Agathon. The Broadway Chantry, part of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, is Aisling's usual hangout place these past few nights. She's in a hurry and not willing to talk. Do you have any ideas about his connection to Kindred? Going by the names of Tamika, D'Angelo, and Hope? I don't. I made it a point to keep our relationship strictly professional. One and never meddled. Words. I should probably not do reading visual novels if words are so hard, but anyway. Keep our relationship strictly professional. I made it a point to keep our relationship a strictly professional one. Learn how to speak, lady. Strictly professional one, and never meddled in his personal affairs. Unless they influenced our work, that is. But it only happened one time. Ah, yes, the infamous Juno case. Were there any signs he's leaving, or anything that makes his disappearance suspicious? No, nothing. It was quite rude of him not to give me proper warning before he departed. Still, this line of work is not particularly favored by folks with a perfect grasp of savoir-vivre. I do hope his search will bring him back right where he started. Begging me to take him back in. The boy is talented, and I did put a lot of time into mentoring him. If he doesn't, well, Que sera, sera. No skin off my back. So you won't even entertain a possibility that he found himself in harm's way. I know an answer to that one. A researcher's mindset. She doesn't think it's worth considering the worst case scenario seriously and just takes things as they come. Precisely. If, for example, climate change scientists didn't operate this way, most would have put a bullet in their own head long ago. That's a cheery thought. I'd like to search that chantry for Agathon's whereabouts. Our good sheriff already did that long ago. You'd just be wasting your time, and ours for that matter. Didn't you say Helene was waiting for us, Kadir? Give the girl 15 minutes, Aisling, a minimal support for an ongoing investigation, and besides, she has a proclivity for finding things everyone else has overlooked. 10 minutes, and if you attempt to pass this door or that one up there, I can't guarantee you'll walk out of here alive. Thank you very much, High Regent. Just get on with it. What the? My time here is practically up, and I found nothing of use. It seems Agathon was completely dedicated to his work. Even his personal quarters are barren as it gets. No personal touch whatsoever. Nothing I could go by. So I'll research. He seems like such a bore. Focus, Julia. What would you do if you were a warlock workaholic? Where would you leave clues to your whereabouts? What would you do if you found yourself in mortal danger and wanted Dakota to know? It's loose. What's that? Yeah. It was facing this way, huh? I approached the place where I saw the shadowy silhouette appear. It's a brick wall, and one of the bricks is loose. Kadir and Aisling are in another room right now, still discussing the party. It's not that bad. You ought to learn how to find humor in the little things. It's the meaning, Sheriff. That's all there is to it. It's time. I work the brick loose until I grip it, then I tug it as silently as possible, revealing a hole in the wall. Inside there's a book. I browse through it quickly. Agathon's diary. That's a bingo. Your 10 minutes are up. So are your 15 minutes. In fact, are you done here? If I could just skip 5 more minutes, I still feel like I could stumble upon something here if I just look a little more. No way, Julia. Time to go. Fine. Put the brick back and take the diary with me. It did look like Agathon left it so that someone in the chantry could find it, presumably the High Regent. My investigation takes priority for now. I bid Kadir and Aisling adieu and start looking for a secluded place to read the diary. This place right here should be secluded enough for me to browse through the diary in peace. I start quickly skimming the book, singling out sentences and paragraphs that look interesting, trying to get a general idea of what kind of person Agathon was, or is, I hope. The more I read, the clearer the image of the person becomes. He's been working under the High Regent for 15 years. There's an underlying shame in the way he talks about Tremere magic. He always describes himself as too slow on the uptake, too late to learn something, too much of an amateur. He was really into tying his self-worth to wisdom. I really like the art in this. I don't know if game, novel, whatever. The art is very extraordinary, though. The entries beginning in 2012 are terrifyingly regular. The handwriting is extraordinarily neat. The author's absolute dedication to his studies is palpable. If there's anything to his own life besides work, it's his relationships with the three important women he holds dear. The first, his master, Aisling Sturbridge, whom he reveres for her knowledge, stoicism, and willingness to experiment. I was hoping to find some details about her secretive work here, but no dice. Looks like he was willing to risk someone finding all about his inner life, but not anything that could harm her studies. A good pupil serving a good mentor. I'm jealous. The second is another warlock, his ex-lover, Juno, whom he feels guilty about. They had a conflict in which Aisling was involved. Having to choose between the two, he chose Aisling. According to Agathon, there was never real love between him and Juno. First, it was just shared interests, then a growing disconnect, and ultimately guilt which made him feel responsible for her. But maybe it's just excuses. He strikes me as the kind of person who spends most of his time inside his head. Doesn't sound like someone you could have a fulfilling romance with. I know what you're doing, Julia, but this is not a rabbit hole you'd want to be stuck in right now. Keep reading. Anyway, last but not least, Agathon's mortal grandmother, Sylvia. She is the light of his life, and the person who took care of him after his parents died in a ritual murder. Not quite what I expected. Her family used to serve a cruel vampire in Mexico City, and it was retribution for their escape. She was the lead Tremere used to track him down, actually. He was keeping her alive for a long time, but a few months ago, her heart gave up. Agathon blamed his insufficient skills, the kind of man who carries the entire world on his shoulders. Left alone with Aisling, he drowned himself in work, and eventually burned out. But it doesn't sound like Sylvia's death was the only event that triggered his depression spiral. It was some kind of incident back in 2019. He doesn't cite specifics. Another thing he was worried about writing down. It's all vague mentions of a person who made him fly too close to the sun. Whatever happened, it had the same effect as his grandma's death. New York stopped feeling like a home to him. Became alien, empty, grotesque, his words. I checked the first page. There's a recent photograph of him glued to the inner side of the cover. He's facing away from the camera, only showing his profile. It's striking a rather dramatic pose. At first, it looks kind of poserish to me. However, upon closer inspection, it seems like a goodbye photo. The final melancholic glance he throws in your direction before disappearing for good. There's also a single black feather. No idea what it means. Something is written next to the photograph with a lot of flourish. It looks like a poem. More than annoyed, sad. More than sad, unhappy. More than unhappy, suffering. More than suffering, abandoned. More than abandoned, alone in the world. More than alone, exiled. More than exiled, dead. More than dead, forgotten. The Sedative by Marie Laurenson. Looks like he wrote it down recently. I might have resonated with his emotional state over the past few months. Most importantly, it seems to confirm his intent with his diary to me. The general idea seems to be his research will outlive him, so it doesn't even detail it. Still, he wanted some kind of tangible memory of who he was left for posterity. But that's not all. There's still a mystery to be solved. Quite a few of the pages towards the end are missing, but it doesn't look like they were necessarily removed to redact information. They are torn off in a way that makes it clear the paper was never used. What's more, the preceding pages are empty as well. Could it be that? That's when it happens again. I notice a bizarre shape in my peripheral vision. I turn to catch a glimpse as fast as possible, but it's already gone. If my heart could beat faster right now, it would be jumping out of my chest. It's discomforting. I've been seeing these apparitions ever since I turned into this. The worst part is, I feel they were always there. Even as a mortal, they were there sometimes in the corner of my eye, disappearing when I try to look directly at them, making me think it was just my mind playing tricks on me. But when you're part of the Night Clan, there are times they don't disappear. There are times they talk. There are times they try to force you to do their bidding. And worst of all, no. I don't want to think about it right now. Still, in my experience, they aren't exactly, I don't know, consciously malevolent. This one in particular was trying to help. I open the book on its first empty page and look around to make sure nobody is staring. Then, I cut myself using a razor I keep in my pocket just in case. It's not a deep slice, I just want to let a droplet of vitae fall onto the page. That's when the letters appear. Look at me! A Turk clown? Okay, so this is fucking. Yo, I don't even know what this word would be. Fuck. Look at me, something clown. No longer confident that any of my people can be trusted. I turned to a fucking spick, Camarilla spick at that. Reserved contempt. That's Agathon. As above, so below. What are you whining for, boy? I don't know if that's... Laugh at me. Ridicule is all I deserve. Alright, so they're not all swear words. Okay, I thought that one word was a swear word. Come on. Don't just stand there like an idiot. You want to say something, say it. What the hell? This is the last thing I expected to happen. This diary is haunted. A series of quickly changing sentences and images, composed of shadows and blood, give me a window into another reality. It's not an objective view, it's like scattered remnants of emotions, similar to a half-remembered dream, full of holes, but an honest expression of one's mind. Might it be interacting with me? It's just a hypothesis, but I don't know why else it would show me Callahan. And was that Ellis Island? Right. This time, I don't even look in its direction. The voice makes me feel oddly confident about what I need to do. I pick up the feather that was in the diary and dip it in my vitae. Then I write down. I have to pick. Compassion, confusion, contempt. I don't want to write confusion. Compassion. What did boss was in that again? Ellis Island. We'll do contempt. You sold out your ideals long ago, old man. You're a shithead, a coward, a bigot, a failed leader, hated by everyone serving you. Of course I have nothing but contempt for you. Good. Finally some honesty. Now we can talk to each other like equals. It doesn't feel like this is the way these events took place. It's more like a way to explore Agathon's emotional truth about the way it all unfolded. In any case, the diary is reacting to me, and some shade of the truth is better than nothing. It's a handy tool, and if I use it right, I might find some clues that could aid me in my investigation. There are a few thoughts floating around my head, like alien entities trying to make their way out. Is that also an effect of the diary's power? Let's try. It was you that killed me. The end. I mean, Destiny is gonna give me some bullshit. Dream, I feel like will also just give me bullshit. And by bullshit, like some Malkavian. It's gonna give me the answer, but I won't realize it's the answer until I'm already done with the game. So we'll just go with death. Was it fear of death that drove you to contact me? Don't be ridiculous. I've been ready to die since before you ever came out of your mama's womb, boy. No? I fear something worse. So when you heard about their plot, yes. I wasn't afraid it would fail and leave me for final death. I was afraid it would succeed. God damn it. What are the two of you talking about? Why did you meet? We'll do Ellis Island. Why did you pick this place to meet anyway? It's secluded. And there's something in the air here that makes all the blood magic go haywire. Which is especially important. Because of me? You're still afraid I might be the part of the experiment? No. Because of that devil woman. Blood running cold. All the scribblings disappear and another set starts taking their place. The diary conjures an image of a completely different place. I instantly get a feeling of deja vu. I process the space differently. The atmosphere is different, more familiar, homely. But this is unmistakably the Chimere Chantry I visited earlier tonight. And standing there is just the person I'd expect. Looks like that's it for my meeting with Callahan. God damn it. But what if the person he was talking about and eliciting a strong emotional reaction was Aisling? The diary awaits my next command. High Regent, who? What is this naive question? I make it a point to have as few strings attached to me as possible. The few I've kept because of the benefits they offer should be painfully obvious to you. I don't feel comfortable being a part of this at all. I always thought we were busy with science, not politics. These are the words of a child, Agathon. Science has always relied on politics and politics on science. Not like this, High Regent. Don't embarrass me, Agathon. Not like this. The moving scribbles disappear again. I hastily let another drop of blood fall on the page. What appears this time is just yet another familiar face. Ah, yes, Agathon. What is it that you wanted to tell me? You goddamned rat. I beg your pardon? The harpy vanishes. Yeah, right. As if I could ever gather the courage to say this to your face. but the least I can do is try and stab you in the back. The diary ends here. I spill a little more vitae on the page, but it no longer works. I suppose that's it. Still no idea what happened to Agathan. Is he alive, or is he dead? I'm gonna guess dead. He's dead. No doubt about it. There are just too many powerful folks involved, and everything I've seen in the diary felt like a noose tightening around his neck. I choose to believe he's dead because that's the most rational thing to do. I suppose Dakota is right. I'm a glass half empty buzzkill. Shit. In any case, I think it's time to pay a visit to the art hole. I know Arturo tends to leave the Elysium quite often to take in some fresh air and message people on his BlackBerry, so I just wait until I see him. The tactic works. He's surprised to see me. Miss Savinsky, shouldn't you be busy with your investigation? I am, actually, which is why I've come to see you. That's peculiar, because I'm absolutely sure I have nothing to do with this case. Aren't you barking up the wrong tree? That's what I'm here to find out. I assumed you'd want to see I'm thorough. Yes, I'm sure. I suppose it's commendable. What is it, then? I have reasons to believe that in the last few months, you, the High Regent Aisling Sturbridge, and her child Agathan were involved in a secretive scheme. His expression changes ever so imperceptibly, but the difference is palpable to me. For the first time ever, he looks at me as a person. Up until now, I was just an amusing diversion. Now I'm something more, and he doesn't like it. Well, what gave you this idea? I'm not at liberty to say. If you really want to know, ask the sheriff. Of course, Kadir doesn't know anything, but he is the only one in the court that Arturo has repeatedly failed to influence. He'll think twice before approaching him. I fail to see how this matter relates to the task at hand. I have every reason to think Baron Callahan was involved, and that he might have had grounds to fear for his life because of said schemes. He's tense now. Do I have the upper hand? Miss Savinsky, please answer the question. The delicate matter you are speaking of has absolutely nothing to do with Baron Callahan's grim fate. It's a strictly confidential affair. It would be wise of you to stop pursuing it. It would be wise of you to fuck off. I can't be an investigator if I'm not allowed to properly investigate. This matter is unrelated to your work and should be treated as such. I'm 100% convinced Prince Bernard would agree. If you insist on pursuing it further, we can take it up to the prince and see if our stance differs from mine. But I think you aren't as naive as to waste your time this way, and besides, she'd certainly want you to present the basis for your discovery to the court. Could you handle it? I have no response. God damn it, this is revenge for invoking Kadir, isn't it? Yeah, I thought so. Is the High Regent inside? She is, but don't worry, I'll make sure to tell her not to waste your precious time, Miss Savinsky. So that's how you're gonna play, you bastard. Well, I guess you win this round. A strategic retreat is my only choice here. I don't have a full deck of cards yet, but just you wait. In a few nights, I'll take my leave. Then. Yes, do that. I don't know if I may be so blunt. Focus on the investigation avenues that aren't utterly imbecilic and suicidal to pursue, miss. I bid you adieu. I curse him out under my breath as he disappears inside the art hole. Guess this avenue really is cut off for me, at least for now. Three names left on the list. He still has some leads to go by, but for now, it's getting late. I should go to St. Patrick's and file my latest report. When I reach the cathedral, Father Leonard is already there. He's not exactly the most punctual person, so I always feel relieved to see him from afar. Time to move in and move out before I'm noticed by Benoit. Will this be all? I guess so. I wrote off most of it in a hurry. On the way here, I'll come up with a more exhaustive report tomorrow night. Busy. Looks that way, Father. Our wayward girl has finally been recognized by her superiors. Here we go again. Of course, he had to sneak up on me. If even you heard about that, I guess that means every single kindred in the 5 boroughs knows. I know you're an expert when it comes to knowing who's saying what and where, but the last time we met, you promised to share that knowledge with me. Yes, I was kind of lying. That's the ninth commandment broken. Father, shouldn't you scold her? Didn't involve me in your silly games, Benoit. The way you fall for obvious lies stems from your biggest failing in communication, and that is, you only pay attention to the what that's being said, and not the how. That's booyah, motherfucker. Suck it. Annihilated with an absolutely flawless diagnosis. Child, don't make me regret siding with you. I'm sorry, Father. Will happen again, especially if you promise to keep verbally destroying that clown. You're in a strange mood tonight, child. Go get some sleep. Yes, we'll continue this tomorrow. I'm not showing up here tomorrow. Yes, you are. Stop breaking the ninth commandment. See you around, Julia. He says my name in a sickly sweet way that gives me the creeps. I bow to Father Leonard, do my best to ignore Benoit, and head for Dakota's place. Finally, my haven. Hey. Another tough night? You don't know the half of it. You want a drink? She points to her neck. I manage to summon a faint smile. I'd love to, but you know we can't do this too often. Maybe tomorrow. You want to talk then? Yeah, I guess so. Just not about work, okay? Sit down. Not about work. Got it. What's on your mind then? The past, I guess. Meaning? How spotty our memories are, and how, despite that, that's what we build our convictions on. Sorry, it's so banal. I'm just tired and frustrated. Well, let's talk about something more specific then. What do you remember about the time we first met? The time we first met? Yeah. Shit. Not a lot, actually. Those were gloomy, anxious days. I think I subconsciously replaced most of them with blank spaces. I remember you trying to paint your hair black. Ouch. Don't dig up my trauma now, okay? I remember that when we first talked, we talked about Haosu. Don't say Haosu, it's low-key racist, I think. Oh? Well, I had no idea. Nobody ever knows what you mean by house. That show with the asshole doctor? No, the Japanese haunted house horror film. It feels like it was written by a 7-year-old with ADHD. In the best way. Duh. We are arguing which characters from the movie both of us are. You were Kung Fu, and I ended up as Prof, which was rude. You were dressed up like a total nerd, not my fault. What was that deal with that suit? I liked that suit. It was okay. I remember helping you out with graphic design whenever you needed it. Funny, I remember you needing help with writing as something that tended to happen far more often. Yeah, we developed a fun shared aesthetic with similar surface concerns, and it bonded us together even before we made sure we were fully compatible deep down as human beings. Hell, I'm still not sure we are, especially now with me not being a human being anymore. But hey, at least we both agree that this boredom feels super comfy. I remember always feeling left out of your social circles. Always knocking at the door from the outside. Oh, forget it. My social circles were full of out-of-touch, snobby assholes. Yeah, but I felt weird how much they avoided me, and there was that one time with Isabella. All of a sudden, one thing with Isabella said at that one party flashes in my mind, startling clarity. After midnight in the kitchen without context, she just walked up to me and she will isolate you, she will suck you dry, and she'll move on to the next target. That's the only thing she knows. Ugh, don't remind me of Isabella. She always resented me. It's been so long, and it's all baseless conjecture now. But what if? What if she really did isolate me on purpose back then? Glass half empty my ass. Something is off here, and that might be a part of it. Can't rule that out at least. I won't say anything, but it's worth keeping in mind for the future. Being naturally suspicious is a virtue, whatever Dakota says. Let's just carry on as if nothing happened. Yeah, forget it, Isabella. Let's just drop this talk. I'm frustrated enough. I need a reset. Sounds like a good idea. Off to sleep? Yeah, gotta get ready to go back to hell tomorrow. Alright, I'll get back to work. You're working remotely again? Yeah, my office is going insane for so many reasons, and I'm getting cabin fever too. Get some sun, it'll be good for you. Look who's talking. Good night, sunshine. Good night. Alright, alright, alright. That's perfect timing. The end of another night. Not really any closer in the investigation. Thomas Arturo is definitely sus. That's all I can really even like pinpoint right now. We got 3 more full days, I guess. Hopefully the shadows talk to us more then. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick break and I'm going to be right back for some Helldivers. I know there's gonna be at least 3 of us. We might get a 4-man. So it should be a good time. So if you want to watch that, stick around. Be right back. Bye bye.